So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Jamie is going to be talking about how to blog, and which is really great. And I just want to make a little announcement right now, and I'll probably make it at the end too if we have more people join. But I made a typo on the email that I sent out for the recap. There was a little class from Allie Carrington that is actually next Wednesday. It conflicts with our regular time, but it's about dog reactivity. And so if you have, I have a dog reactive dog, I registered for it. I will miss it because it conflicts with this, but I do encourage you to attend live if you can. Allie is an amazing trainer. She trained with me with my dog, and she's in London and I was in Portland at the time. So she does a really great job training from afar. She helped me with my little dog who was just starting to get separation anxiety and bark when I would leave, and I was living in an apartment, so that was a big fat no-no. So I called Allie and she helped me in a week, helped Nika. And Nika now, she never has any barking. I mean, she'll bark if she sees something, but she doesn't. So Allie is amazing. I understand if you, Jamie and I understand if you have to miss our call next week. I'm going to be at CARE. So we'll be doing a thing from CARE. But if you want to have the benefit of asking questions with Allie, I would definitely attend her class for free. So the typo was, I said the 18th. It's not the 18th. It is the 11th. The 18th, we are going to have Taya Strom with us. And I am literally over the moon excited for this for you guys, because if you are an animal communicator and you are an animal Reiki practitioner, you definitely want to attend, because Taya is both. And she was the one that really taught me, one, how to be when we approach animals to get the best interaction with them. And it's something that we teach here. She also is the one that taught me about how animal Reiki is passive, animal communication is active. You cannot do them both at the same time, because you will not do either one well. But she gives you tips. She's going to give us tips and techniques on how we can do both of them separately, but also in conjunction with each other. And we're going to be giving away one of her books and possibly one of her audiobooks. So I hope you all can attend. If you do have questions, though, please submit your questions ahead of time. We are not going to be doing, does anyone have a question on the call, because it eats up too much time. Taya has generously offered to be with us for 90 minutes. So we want to make sure that we get as much in as possible. So if you have a question for Taya, please email me or Jamie. You can email Jamie at Animal Bonds, or you can email me at the LAD Ambrosio or the Leah at Shelter Animal. However, or just respond to one of our emails and send in a question for Taya. She is so generous and she's so amazing. And if you don't have her book, please get it. It is such an incredible book. Even if you're a seasoned animal communicator, you are going to find some really great tips and techniques. And if you're into audiobooks, she narrates the book. And so you get the benefit of hearing her beautiful, guidance and her little exercises and meditations in her own voice. So those are the announcements that I want to make. And we have a couple chats and I just want to check those really fast. Can you put her information on separation anxiety? And I don't know that I did separate training with her, so she doesn't have a class for separation anxiety. The class next week is going to be on dog reactivity, and it's a live one. She does have a free audio course for people who have adopted rescue animals. And it's kind of like meant for before you go rescue an animal. But I think, Jamie, you did the class. I did the class. It's a really great class. Even if you already have I did so many things wrong, but she gives you really great advice on how to get your animals to coexist with you in a family. So, but I will put Allie's information here. And hey, Wilma, good morning. And no worries, Gabby. Gabby is driving and listening. We're just so glad you could be here. And I will, Gabby, I'll put the name of the book and the link to Taya and also a link to Allie's class in the chat. But right now I'll turn it over to Jamie, since we want to make sure we get enough time with Jamie to learn all about blogging.
And just one other thing, Taya will not be doing readings, just so
No.
everybody knows,
Yeah.
at our meeting. But that's why we really want those questions ahead of time.
Yeah, you'll want Taya to do a meeting,
I
but
know.
reading, but and I have had readings with Taya. In fact, one of the readings that I did is in her book, and she's just amazing when it comes to readings. I mean, the woman is so talented, and she's young. She's only about 33, I think now, and I met her when she was probably 28. Just incredibly talented. So I'll put all that information for you. And welcome, Bruce. Welcome, Jade. We're so glad to have you, Jade. I think you are new to our group, so welcome, welcome. And it's same with Jill and Priscilla. We love to see new faces. So, Jamie, why don't you take it away?
Okay, so first I'd like to ask, who here blogs by like a show of hands or a thumbs up? Does anybody blog already? Does anybody want to blog? Okay, we got a few that want to. How many people are scared to blog? Okay, we got a few more hands there. Okay, great. Want to get better? Absolutely. So, blogging is not as hard as we think it is. It's like anything, once we start to do it, it gets a little bit easier, but anyone can blog. You do not have to be a journalist. You do not have to be a fabulous writer and write books. Anyone can blog, especially today. So don't let the idea of writing a blog intimidate you, because they can be as simple or as complicated as you want. And just keep, for example, have you ever written like a Christmas letter that you send out and you write out what happened throughout the year and you send it to your friends and family? That's kind of a blog. So if you've done that, or if you've received one, you know what a blog is. You've done a blog already. They don't have to be, I know we think of blogs and they're on the websites and they're on social media, and all of that is true. But it can be as simple as like your Christmas letter, like something you write to put in a newsletter that you send out to people in an email. So, the important thing to remember, whether you're writing a very simple blog, or a more complex blog, is that you have to be passionate about the subject. You need to be knowledgeable, but you also need to present information that is enjoyable and helpful to the reader. Because always remember, the reader is what's in it for me. They don't read a blog just because you've written it and you may think it's wonderful, and they want to know what's in it for them. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. Give me just a second. Share. There we go. And you guys should all see this Canva thing. I got to move this out of the way. Sorry about that, guys. Where's my presentation? Here it is. It didn't stay up. I don't know why, but we'll open it back up. Okay. There we go. Finally got it going. Sorry about that. So we're going to talk about how to create a blog. Absolutely. And the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what's your why? Why do you want to create a blog? And there's lots of reasons for it. It could be that you want to promote your business. It could be that you want to just share information, especially, like people who are doing Let Animals Lead or Love Animals. Maybe we just want to get this message out there to as many people as possible. We don't care if somebody is, if you have a business or not. You just want to get this information out, right? Maybe you just want to do it to a small group of friends and you want to share your personal stories. So you have to know what your why is. Why are you doing this? Because it's important to know that, because it's going to make everything else a lot easier. It's going to be easier to be consistent. It's going to be easier to be on topic. It's just going to make everything a lot easier. So what is your why? And, that's something that, you just ask yourself, why am I doing this? You want to know that. You want to know, how often do I want to do this? Do I want to commit to a weekly blog? That can be a lot. Do I want to do monthly? Do I just want to do quarterly? Those questions can be answered if you know your why. If it's for a business, you probably want a weekly. If it's a group of friends or a group, maybe that you belong to, maybe monthly or even quarterly. So knowing your why will help answer some of those questions on how you're going to present this. And it went backwards. There we go. All right. You also need to have a clear purpose and a niche. So you need to define your blog's purpose. And you want to be sure that you're passionate about the subject, that you're knowledgeable about it, and that you can identify a target audience, right? So if you're writing about animal Reiki, you probably wouldn't target the human medical community, right? That's probably not who your readers are. So you want to do a little research. You want to find out who your audience is. And you may have a good idea of that already, because a lot of you are, in Sarah and belong to other groups. You can look around. If we're going to use animal Reiki, because we're an animal Reiki group as a topic, we look at who comes to the meetings, usually mostly women, right? We have a few gentlemen and we love that. But, so we look at it. Well, there's mostly women, they're of a certain age. And then you can do some research. You can go into groups that are on Facebook, see who's in there, what kind of questions they're asking. Figure out, if you can, why do they care about their pets? Do they have children at home, or are their pets like their kids now? Maybe the kids have left. Maybe they never had kids. The more you can kind of dial in, the more you're going to be able to write to everyone. And the more engaging it's going to be, and the more informational and beneficial it's going to be to your readers. So you really need to define your niche and your audience. So then you want your articles to remain aligned with your purpose, your topic, right? Your main topic that you have for your blog, Animal Reiki. So you would want your articles to remain aligned. Now, that doesn't mean every article has to be about animal Reiki, but somehow it has to align with that. So, for example, if I did a blog about meditating, then, and I work that in on how it affects animals when you meditate with them, right? That aligns with our method of animal Reiki. So you wouldn't want to do something totally out there, I don't know, like a Thanksgiving recipe. Maybe that would be a special thing, but you might want to do an article on, hey, Thanksgiving is coming up, and there's sometimes a lot of stress because you're cooking a big meal, or you have family drama. And guess what? Here's how meditating and the Let Animals Lead method can help you through that. Something like that. And then if you wanted to put a little recipe in as fun, that would make sense. So you always want to align your subjects with your main topic. I don't know why this thing is doing that. There we go. So we understand the audience, and that's important. Understanding your audience. Like I said, going into groups, researching the people that, are interested in this. You want to find out who's interested, what kind of things they like, what their hobbies are, all of those things, as much as you can find out, so that you can engage them with your information. And engaging content is king in the blogging world, and it's kind of king if you're in business. So that's really important. You want high quality, informative, and engaging posts that captivate your readers. And you want to use storytelling. Storytelling is so powerful. You want visuals. People are very visual, especially in this day and age, right? All our social media is visual. And then you want to use real life examples. You want people to know you. That's really important, because most of the time in a blog, you're selling yourself as well, not just the information and not just the topic. So they have to get to know you. They have to get to trust you. They have to get to like you. All of that is really important. And if you have people that you follow, I follow a number of people, and sometimes it's certainly not about animal Reiki, but I want to get on their newsletter and I want to see how they do their blogs. And that's a great thing to do. There are some people out there who, you can see how they write informally and how they engage with you, and you feel like you're talking to a friend. And so it gives you really good ideas on how you should present your information. So I would definitely recommend that. I know sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want to give out my email. I get so much junk anyway. But definitely select a few from the people that you follow anyway, get on their newsletters and use it as a learning tool. That can really help you on how to present your newsletters and your blogs. So choosing a blog topic, this can seem, especially if you do a weekly, it can be, after a while, you're like, oh, I don't have any more ideas. And what else can I come up with on this topic? Well, I want to tell you that technology is your friend and it will help you. And there are two things that I use all the time. Answer the Public. I don't use that quite as much anymore. Answer the Public. And I use AI. And AI can help you come up with topics. It can help you when you're having a writer's block. And it doesn't have to be sterile. So it's just learning about how to use this as a tool. So let's go into Answer the Public. So this is it's a free website, Answer the Public. Let me get off that. So if you want to write that down. And what you do is you can put in a topic and hit search, and it's going to display a list of questions that people have been searching on the internet. Okay, so you know what people are out there looking for. What are they trying to find answers to? Well, guess what? You can provide the answer. And you simply put, like, it's best to have a one-word topic right here. And you type that in, you hit search, and all these different things come up. Now, like most technologies, they have a paid version and a free version. I wouldn't get the paid version. I have the free version. And you're limited to 3 daily searches a day. So you can take 3 words and search them every day and get the questions that people are answering. The next day, you can do the same thing. You're going to find that some of the questions aren't that helpful, or they kind of repeat, but it's still for free. It gives you an idea of what people are looking for. Yeah. Okay, now we get to AI. I use AI a lot more. These are the 2 that I use a lot: the chat, OpenAI, and then also Copy AI. Copy AI is designed specifically for blog writing. And so the thing with AI is, again, both of these 2 have a free version and they have a paid version. I use the free version. I use Copy AI quite a bit. And they do have a limit every month on how many words. So one of the tricks that I discovered is, what I do is I have to stay organized. And I find a day where, and come up with a list of, okay, I need, you know, a blog on this, a blog on this. I'm going to have the next 2 months. I need 8 blogs to get me through the next 2 months. So I will pay for 1 day with Copy AI. You can pay for 1 day, and I think it's like $30. And then I use AI to get me started. So I will tell it, write a blog post, and you can even tell it how many words if you want on, so the recent one, like puppy mill survivor dogs. Be sure to include, and then I put down, you know, how meditation can help these animals and all the different things that you might want the topic, you know, the points, put those points in, and then have it write the article. And it's going to sound like very technical, very technical. And that's okay, because it's your start. It's like your outline. Think of it as your outline. And now you can go in and you can make it friendlier. You can make it engaging. You can personalize it with your touch, your voice, but at least you've got the bones started for you. And batching it that way really helps, because it's, for me, I used to do it every week. Oh, I got to write a blog this week. Okay. And I wasn't as productive. Now that I do it this way, where I just, okay, today's the day, it's blog day. So we're going to do the blogs for the next 8 weeks. And with the help of AI, I can do that. I will ask AI, and I've used chat for this, create 50 topics for a blog on dog sports. Create 50 topics for a blog on animal Reiki meditation. Create 50 topics for a blog on meditating with animals. And it just instantly pops them up. Now, are they all good? No, absolutely not. But I can look at them and it's like, oh, okay. And I can bind them. I can change them around a little bit. But sometimes it's like a muse, right? Think of AI as your muse. And it's a tool and it's a muse to help you with the creative process. You're the creativity. Don't forget that. You bring the creativity. It just brings the muse. It brings you, you know, the bones so you can get started on it.
Now, Jamie, let me ask you a quick question. Have
Uh-huh.
you tried OpenAI, Chat GPT? Have you tried that to write your blog? Have you told it basically what you say, and
I
it doesn't do it as well, or?
it just, I like Copy a little better. Chat OpenAI does write blogs, absolutely. And they're fine, they're very technical. Copy AI, it also has the prompts there for you already. So a prompt is just like, write a blog and include, and then it'll have the points that you want to include. It gives you prompts like that to tell you you need to include points.
Right.
Or so Copy AI, if you're new to AI, it has some prompts that help you along that are really easy to use specifically for blog writing.
Yeah, because
Either one is good.
I would say that get the prompts from Copy AI and then take it over to Chat GPT
Mhm.
if you don't want to spend the money.
Yep.
Also, I think that Chat GPT, what happens there is like now, because I've been using Chat GPT so much and it knows
Mhm.
like let animals lead and it knows me and it knows who I am, it actually will generate, and it knows my voice. It actually
Right.
generates everything more in my voice, not perfectly, but
Yeah.
like I'm just thinking as an option if people don't want to spend the $30
Yes.
to do that.
And it is free too. I mean, you can do so many words. I don't know how many blog articles you get. And that also has a voice. So you can, it'll say use your voice, because you can set up your voice, the voice you want. If you want it engaging and kind and that type of thing, you can put the qualities in and it'll write like that. And sometimes it sounds ridiculous when I say to use the voice, because it's like, oh, your beloved pet, and it's just way over the top, right? So I'm like, oh, we got to back this off. But either one, and yes, chat, the OpenAI, and the more you use it, it learns your style, it learns your voice. Copy does the same thing. These are just two options for you. So you could start with copy, run out of words, go to chat. I do that a lot when I'm out of words. I just head on over to chat then, and lots of ways you can approach that. But definitely it's like a muse. It's your backbone. You still have to bring the creativity. You still have to tweak it. You still have to put your voice into the blog, but it will save you time and it can help you come up with ideas. So that's important. So another thing, if you just like to write, and come up with your own stuff, is Grammarly. Now, this one is a paid program, so just a heads up about that. But if you're doing it for a business and you're doing it weekly or whatever, Grammarly is nice because you can put whatever you've typed into it and it will go through, it will find misspellings, grammar, it may suggest a rewrite so it's easier to read and understand. It's just another tool that's out there for us. That's all it is. So definitely not anything you have to have. It doesn't write the article for you. It just makes sure you polish it up so it comes off professional, because you want your blog to be very professional. And then, the last thing is just keep moving forward. Just do it, right? Sometimes if we don't hear back from people, we put our blog out there, we don't know what happens. We don't know if anybody's reading it. We don't hear from anybody. It's kind of like it just goes off into the light circuits. And, sometimes we think, because takes effort, it takes consistency. And so then we may start thinking, why am I doing this? Is anybody reading it? And yes, they may not respond back to you. They may not say, I love that email, or I loved your blog, or they may not comment on it. But especially if you are writing about something that you're passionate about, that you care about, you're getting your word out there. And you just have to trust that the people who need to see it are seeing it, and keep moving forward. So does anybody have any questions on that? There's a lot of other
Maybe
things.
stop sharing your screen, James, so we can see that people, if they have their hand up.
Okay.
If you're done.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I can do that. There we go. There's other things like SEO and, so much that gets into it, but AI can help you with SEO too.
Yes, it can.
So,
Miranda, did you have your hand up, Miranda?
Yes, I have a question. Do you also have tips where to put your blog, like on a website or on the landing page? Do you also have tips about it?
There are lots of places you can put your blog. You can put it on a website. I have mine on my website, and it's always good because that brings people to your website, right? So it's always good to have it on your website, but that's going to reach a certain group of people. You want to get it out there as much as possible. So LinkedIn, believe it or not, you can now do a newsletter on LinkedIn, and you could put your blog there. I just started doing that, and I've had all kinds of people comment or, make notice of it. So I'm reaching more people on LinkedIn. You can put it on Facebook, where you have a bit of the blog and then you direct it back to your website, which is good because then they come to your website. Again, you're getting more people. You can do the same thing with Instagram, so, and then you can also do a newsletter for people that have already are in your group, and you send newsletters out, and you can put it in that. And you don't have to write a different blog for every one of those. You can use the same blog because you're reaching different people. Definitely, the more you can get it out there. I like LinkedIn. I like the website. I like it on social media. You're going to reach a lot of different groups and a lot of different audiences doing it that way.
I think another thing you could do too is like if you're making an email to your email list, that can be your blog. So I know Kathleen does that. It's like you send it out to your email list. You don't have to rewrite it and you can say, if you'd like to read this as a blog, have a link there, but go ahead and then you have it already written. So now you've sent it out as an email, but now you can use it as a blog and post it in all these other different places.
Absolutely. We have to work smarter.
Not harder.
Not harder. Yes.
So welcome, Kelly and Drea. I see that both of you have joined. And so Ruth has her hand up. Yes, Ruth.
So people get inundated with so much. There's so much out there. Is there a length at which you should never exceed because attention spans are so short? I know you said it has to be engaging. Well, if you don't capture them initially, you probably are not going to have them even read past the first paragraph. So how many paragraphs per se? 10, 5? I'm going to vary because the topics can vary so much.
It can, and your audience will vary, but like 300 to 500 words are good for people's attention. Because short is better, and you want to write it so it's easy to read. So bullet lists, boing, boing, boing. Not just a lot of copy. You don't want that. You want to use different paragraphs. You want to use bullet lists. You want to have separation, so there's white space around the copy. Yeah, you want to make it really easy. The bullet points are really great because people can just like, oh, here's the highlights. Okay.
Do you want to grab them with photos or images? Then you run into a copyright problem. So
there are places out there where you can get free photos. I have like a paid version of Canva, so I get them from there.
You can get free ones on canva.com.
Yeah, they have free ones too.
Also Splash.
And what's Pick Free? Is it Pick Free? Free
Pick? Let me look really fast. I'll see.
I think Free Pick, they have some good photos. Most of them do have free ones, and then ones that you can pay for. Definitely, yeah, you want to make sure that you're using photos that you can use, especially if you're putting it on your website and sending it out.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have anything they want to ask? Oh, yeah, we got Leah put all kinds of good information in the chat. Thank you, Leah.
Yeah, and I'll put a couple more free places to get photos. There's Pixabay too, and Pexels.
So yeah, and you can Google, free photos and because there's a lot of places out there where you can get engaging photos that you can use. So you want to, think about your photo, think about your headline. Your headline has to capture them. AI can help you write that. Write an engaging headline for a blog on blah, 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 and see what they come up with.
And you can tell AI also, can help me create a blog that is, what am I trying to say? SEO, not positive, but what am I trying to say, Jamie?
Help me create a blog that ranks with, or SEO, high SEO ranking.
Yes.
Yeah. High SEO
High
rank.
in SEO rankings. Yes.
And it will know the words that people are out there searching for.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead, Ruth.
I'm beginning to see how the issue of the movie writers, the theater writers, all of that, screenwriters,
Yeah.
how AI has really impacted them.
Yeah.
So it kind of brings up an ethical issue about these ideas are being generated by.
Yeah, I mean, so here's how to look at it, and I understand what with the writers and the movie producers is a little deeper than what we're doing. But look at AI as, like Jamie said, like your assistant, right? You know, it's somebody, like if you had an assistant and she was a copywriter, let's say, and you said, hey, generate for me 20 ideas or start a blog for me, right? So that's somebody who's working for you, and AI is kind of working for you. You're not going to take what AI has done, and really we God, I cannot talk today. We advise against this. Don't take that blog and just post it, because something that I've noticed with AI, because I've used it a lot, is that the way AI sets up certain things is boom, boom, same. It's formulaic. So you start to understand. I can tell right away when somebody's used AI to write a blog, because there's formulas, and I've done this. I've worked with AI so much. I know the formulas. So you can see it. So you want to make sure that you're adding, like Jamie does, your own personal stories, and you take what they say. Like sometimes what I'll say is, hey, write something for me, like with emails or copy that I need to write. I'll say, write this. And then I go, okay, I like what they said here, but I'm going to say this differently. So I take it and I start adding my own voice to it, right? So you're putting your own personality into that. But yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, but at the same time, if you had an assistant and you were using the assistant, it's kind of the same thing. The only thing is we don't pay AI. Unless you were to get a paid version. And if you get a paid version, you're kind of paying for it. But it's kind of sad in some ways. For me personally, I don't like to write. It's a struggle for me to write. When AI came out, I was like, oh, I am so all in, because to hire a copywriter for my business, my cannabis business, it was so expensive. It was like $150 for a 300-word blog. That's way too much money. I couldn't afford that. So now with AI, it's like, oh my gosh, I can put my ideas. And a lot of times you have somebody else write it for you. You only have so many edits, and it doesn't, like, a lot of times it may not sound like you, or you don't like the way it sounds. So with AI, you have just a lot more room to work with it, and it can sound a lot more like you. So it's kind of a good thing.
I'm wondering if maybe if you are using AI to a large degree, whether you should have a disclaimer somewhere. Oh, I was assisted by AI and getting
say that. Of course you can. Absolutely. You know, and that's how we have to navigate this space. We have to navigate it in a way that is in alignment with our values and our integrity. So if you don't feel good about writing it, and like, I think that the few things, like if it was a longer thing, I said, hey, I think when I was first writing about, when we did this, I said, hey, this was written with the help of AI. And now, because I've been like reading AI and stuff, I actually haven't used AI for any of my emails in a really long time. And it's really funny, because I feel like AI kind of helped me to be more creative and to have that freedom, because hand to God, probably in the last, I mean, we do this every week. It's probably been at least 2 months since I've used AI to help me write an email. I'll use it to help me write like copy for like the Sarah emails to sell the classes. But even then, I'm still not using it all. So I don't even feel the need to say, hey, AI assisted in this, because I change it so much. So I think that really you've got to navigate this the way that feels right for you. I don't know, Jamie, what you want to say about that.
Yeah, I think that's true. And, it's like Grammarly or Word. I don't put down, it's another tool. And the thing I will tell you with the writer's strike, it's not just the writer's strike in Hollywood, because I'm studying voice acting. I get to do my demo pretty soon. I'm really excited about that. But what it is they're taking their images, the actors' images, and they're using it in movies without the actors even knowing about it, or they're using it in games, like the games the kids play, and they're giving them nothing for it. So it's not like they're just using it to help them write scripts or anything like that. They are actually taking the likeness and, of someone. They're going to be doing that with voice acting too. There's going to be a big fight whether they can just take our voice and use it. So those definitely are some of the dilemmas. I don't see it so much when we use it as a tool to help us write a blog, and that we have to tweak and, just as a tool to do that. But absolutely, like Leah said, if you feel like you need to say I used AI to help write this, do that. Anything else?
Surely we have some more questions here. Oh, so let's see. Okay, so we do have some comments here and I'll read these. Wilma says, I need help to start LLL. And then Anne said, include images, which I think we covered. And then Kelly Louise said, I often see posts that say 6-minute read. Yeah, that's whenever the time is, I commonly see 4 to 8 minutes. So perhaps that's a helpful for a guideline for length. Yeah, like read a blog, see how long it takes you. I mean, I think a longer blog, like 6 to 8 minutes, is probably more in the 500 to 750 or even longer. I'd have to like count it, but you can go on Medium. Medium.com will tell you how long of a read it's going to be. And then you can do a word count in there as well. And then Anne says, I don't know if you have more to say about that, Jamie.
I know the spoken word is 160 words per minute.
Okay.
So if you read it out loud, that's an idea for you. Okay. For most people, that's an average.
So say that again, because I want to get this written down.
For the spoken word, most people average 160 words per minute.
Okay. And I'll put that in the chat as well. So we have that. Thank you so much for that. That was a really good guide there. And then Jill gave dreamstime.com has free images. So thank you so much for that, Jill. And we'll put that in our links. And then Anne says, I tend to go into those that say short length if the topic seems engaging. Yeah, right? Because none of us want to be tied up for an hour. Don't you hate that when you go on, like on Sundays, a lot of the periodicals, they'll put the longer articles and I think, oh, I want to read this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a commitment. I don't want to read this. It's taking me like half an hour. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. And then let's see. Is it better to do a blog or live video is what Wilma is asking.
That's a really good question because videos are really popular too. Again, it depends where you're going to post it, and why not do both? Why can't you take your live video? And I know there's programs out there, Leah probably knows better than me, that will actually transcribe what you said.
Yeah, what we do for transcription is Otter AI. There is a free version. It's gotten a lot better, but it'll do your transcription, but you're going to have to go in and clean it up. But it is shorter than actually going to write a brand new blog. Just make sure that you're not doing like what I just did, right? Because then you've got to clean all of those up and make sure you're speaking in full sentences. Because what I've found in our Otter AIs, I don't know if you guys ever read the transcripts of our meetings, is I will stop mid-sentence and go on to something else. So just make sure you're following it. It'll just make it easier for you. Otherwise, you're like me and you're trying to clean it up. You're going, oh, good grief. Do I really speak like this? And then full of mistakes for transcripts. Yes, there are. But again, Wilma, there is no perfect AI because AI is listening to how you're speaking. If you're not speaking clearly, or if it doesn't know the topic, like Reiki, right? So it might spell it R-A-K-I, or it might spell some of the words like Reiju or Joshin Kokyoho. It's going to spell it the way it thinks it should spell, like phonetically. So you're going to have to clean things up. But if you're just talking about, dogs and training or something like that, it might be a much cleaner transcript.
Right.
And so we have a few more minutes.
Yeah, and again, remember, it's just a tool, just like the transcribing one's just a tool to make things go a little faster for you. You're still in control. You're the captain of all this. You're the creative juice in all this. And you're using these tools to make your job a little easier, a little faster, so you can get the information out there and reach more people.
Yeah,
So
well,
you wouldn't just use the transcript though, Wilma. You would take
Yeah.
that transcript and write it and clean it up, and otherwise you'd have to listen to the video and write down everything you said. So
yeah, so it's actually really nice to have that. And plus, when you do your video script, you're going to have your blog pretty much written out, because you're going to be kind of repeating it, right? So it is going to be a lot cleaner that way. But also, people put up transcripts, like we put up our transcripts, we don't clean them up. We just put them raw. And I think that Allie has said that. Oh, I don't know if all of you know that they're doing a nationwide
oh yes.
alert. So if you don't have your phone on silent, it's going to be on. But
Oh.
yeah, Wilma, we put up our transcript raw. Oops.
It's silence, but I'm going to power it off.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
it
can
won't
put
let
it
me.
silent and it'll silence it for
There we
you.
go.
But yeah, Wilma, most of them put them up raw. Oh, and Jill, thank you so much for, Jill signed off, but I'm so glad she could join us, and hopefully she'll listen
Yes.
to this. So thank you, Jill, for joining us. It was really nice to see you. And so, yeah, we have, I think, a couple more minutes. If anyone has something they want to say, or a comment, or any advice they want to give about blogging that they have. No? Well, Jamie, this was really informative, and I tried to take some notes, try to get yours too, to capture, a lot of, also capture just kind of what we talked about here. Also, I'm going to take, we said at the beginning about Taya and Allie Carrington's classes on reactivity in rescue dogs, and then Taya's book, and then also the free class that she is doing. So let's see here. We have.
And Wilma put in the comments, if we do a blog or video, can we send it to you guys to see? You mean me and Leah?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And Kathy, yeah, that's totally fine. I can't find how to.
Okay, before we send it off, like, can we send it to one or both in an email, and you?
Probably both, because I can't guarantee. I never know what my schedule is like, but if, as long as it's not a rush, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Believe me, mine will be about like, you'll have about 2 weeks. Because it'll take me about 2 weeks to do it.
Well,
I gotta
Wilma,
get out of my comfort zone.
Wilma, you are a much better writer than you think. I've seen your thing.
Yeah.
I saw your class promotion. It's very good. So I think that's really something too. What you have to remember, and this goes back to mindset, right? If you go into it, and I had to really work on this, because I am not a bad writer necessarily, but there's so many blocks that we tell ourselves. And just remember, you're going to get better. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. But if you never do it, you're never going to get good, right? So if you just constantly say, oh, I don't want to do this. So what you have to do is you just have to plug your nose and just hit send, and don't even worry about it. Just go, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not even going to think about it. Like, it's kind of like watching these calls. I never watch these calls again. I don't even want to hear what I said. I don't even want it, like, because then you're going to be critical, right? You don't need that kind of negativity. No. Know that your heart is in the right place. You're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Get it out, and then keep going. Just keep going. Because if you look back at, like, Kathleen's, she used to have these books that were collections of her blogs, and you look back at what they sounded like back then and how she sounds now. I mean, that's years and years of her working on her craft. You can't be an expert unless you get it out there, work on it, get some feedback, and then allow yourself that grace to make mistakes. because it's like saying, oh, that little baby can't run a marathon. Well, of course they can't. I mean, they need to practice, they need to strengthen their legs, they need to get good at it. And even when they get to be, in elementary school or junior high, can they run a marathon then? Maybe, maybe not. You have to keep practicing and just put it out there. And thank you so much, Ruth. Like I did for the ad for your training. Yes, exactly, Wilma. And then Ruth says, thank you as well. Lots of good info. Need to take the dogs out. Yeah, no problem. One from a rescue puppy mill, still working on bathroom hats. Yes. So let us get to our meditation then, and we can end on time this morning. So again, everyone, don't forget, next week I'll be at CARE. We'll be talking about, Jamie and I will be talking about offering, sharing Reiki with wild animals in captivity, right? So wild animals in captivity, animals at the zoo, animals in sanctuary, and how you can help them. And then we have Taya on the 18th. But again, next week, October 11th, is Allie's free class, Reactivity in Rescue Dogs. I know it conflicts with our meeting. I encourage you, please go to her meeting, because to have the ability to speak with Allie live is a huge honor, and I just would really encourage you to do that. So Jamie, I don't know if you want to do the meditation. You want me to do it?
Do you want to do it?
Sure, we can do a quick one.
Okay.
Since we're talking about blogs and we're talking, did I send the email after all? What does that mean, Wilma? I'm not sure what you mean.
Email for Allie.
Oh, did I? Oh, God. I did yesterday, but there was a typo in the recap. There was a typo that said her class was on the 18th. Although if you click the link, it says the 11th. It's the 11th. It's next week. So there'll be another one that goes out next week. And I did put her information, and I'll do it again. I put the information you'll see here. There's Taya's email address, or her website address. And then there's Allie's website address, her free courses, also the course that she's doing October 11th, and then Taya's book. So again, if you want, and then you can save the chat by going to the bottom of the chat, like where it says everyone and where you type your message, there are 3 little dots. You can click those dots and you can hit save chat, and then you'll save all of the links. But again, we'll have this in our recap as well, but you have to wait a week. But since we are talking about blogging, and since we're talking about insecurity and how we feel about ourselves, right? Let's do a meditation where we show ourselves a little bit of self-love, okay? So let us go into Gacho. Let's close our eyes so that we block out all distractions, and let us set our intent that we are open to receive whatever it is that we need most at this moment in time. And since we're creating a beautiful healing circle, let us set our intention that we're open to create a beautiful healing space for all who want to join us. And you can put in any people, situations, or animals into this beautiful space, invite them to join us. And then whenever you're ready, we can put our hands face up or face down on our lap. And let us just focus on the beautiful breath of light, breath that we do, just breathing in light, pulling it down to our belly, expand your belly, ignite the light at your belly, and on the out breath, expand that light through your body, breathing in clear light, connecting to the light at your belly, which is your own beautiful inner light. And on the out breath, expanding that light throughout your body and into the space around you. Remembering that you are light, you are love. And as you breathe in and out, allow your body to relax and to connect to that beautiful part of you that has no worry and no fear, no anger, that is just pure love and light. And whenever you're ready, I want you to focus on breathing into your heart. Just do a couple breaths, just kind of stopping at your heart and expanding at your heart. Really feel that connection between your breath and your heart, and that feeling of love. As you breathe into your heart, you connect to love. And as you breathe out, you expand love out. Think about the love you have for animals that will help you to really connect with that feeling of love. Think about an animal you love dearly. Feel your love for them and feel their love for you. And allow your heart to expand in that space. Whenever you're ready, I want you to put your hands over your heart. And I want you to say to yourself, I am worthy. I am enough. I am a loving, kind individual. I am deserving of love. I am deserving of grace. I am deserving of being heard. I am deserving of being seen. I am deserving of love. And just allow yourself to sink into those affirmations. Always reminding yourself that you are a being of this universe of God that deserves love, that you are love and light, that when you feel scared or you feel fear or anxious, you've only just lost touch with your light. So use this breath to come back and to connect to this beautiful space of love. Love for who you are. You're a beautiful individual and your light is needed in this world, as is your voice. So use it and share it. Whenever you're ready, bring your hands into Gasho and give thanks to yourself. Give thanks to yourself for who you are and for being the person that you are. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you all so much. Hopefully you didn't hear my aunt and uncle there just making so much noise in the kitchen. So much noise for a 70-year-old. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, they know I'm on Zoom, but they don't know. I don't think how Zoom works. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Jamie. That was so informative and loved all the information that you shared. And we'll do a recap. And I don't know, Jamie, if you're willing to share your slides or not, but if you are, we can do those as well. Recap. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful week. And don't forget, next week, we're going to be talking about sharing Reiki with wild animals. And also Allie Carrington's class is next week too. So it's a reactivity in rescue dogs. If any of you have dogs that are reactive, dog reactive, you want to hear this. All right. Thank you. Mwah. Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Mwah. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much.